for sending this so late last night.
Yeah, no worries. We should be good to go.
Good to go. Okay. Morning. This is the mayor manager meeting of, oh my gosh, it's January the 20th, a big day. Wednesday at 8:34. We didn't hold it Tuesday because we had a meeting Tuesday night. So in the Teams meeting is Linda Olson, Alex Dortick, Jade Truscott-Reed, Nathaniel Sierra, Shawn Lewis, and Stephanie Carlisle.
All right, thank you, Mayor.
And we have to finish quickly, right? Because you have a meeting at 9.
Oh, we do.
Yeah. Okay.
So we have the council retreat on for January 23rd. I think you're familiar with that agenda. And then the Joint Cities, Tri-Cities Council meeting on the 28th with Sheridan and Littleton. And that packet is almost ready to go, but I think we're going to send it first thing Monday morning. And then February 1st, we have...
Hang on a second. Can I go back to that?
Mm-hmm.
Is there no way we can send it on Friday? That is a lot of really substantive reading. It's not like reading 1,000 pages with a lot of budgets that are, not budgets. If there's any way we could do it on Friday, I would love to give people that extra time since we have that weekend. We have a Saturday retreat and.
Okay, sure. I'm just texting Tim now. Oh, Friday.
If it's not, it should be ready anyway, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've got everything gathered up. So Tim sent it to me yesterday. He just said that the other cities maybe were planning on the Monday, but yeah, I think we can get it out on Friday and.
Well, maybe tell the other cities we're going to send it out on Friday. Well, we meet tomorrow.
Yeah.
Morning.
Yeah.
So you meet tomorrow morning, right? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
And then so on the February 1st study session, we've got 3 items: Citizen of the Year, Green Building Code, and review and discuss drafting Inglewood Emergency Operations Plan. And so we have assigned times to Citizen of the Year, well, presentation times to all of these. But do you want to add the discussion times?
Well, so I wasn't sure what to make last night of, so Nathaniel, Cheryl sent an email last night saying, and I wasn't sure what she was referring to exactly, but I think she didn't want as much presentation. I think we've gotten our presentations down quite a bit, but
yeah.
Well, yeah. So I did. So she sent it to me as well, and it's probably good that we kind of clarify with her. I guess what I took from it was, just assuming that council has read the packet and just making high level points about the presentation. That was my take from it.
Yeah, it's mine too. And I don't know if there was one particularly onerous last night. Usually I remind people, who's ever presenting, just remember that we've gotten this already. We actually have our own in our packet if we can't get the thing to work, but it might have been one in particular, but I don't believe everyone reads all the packet all the time, because we get questions. I'm like, it's in the packet. Didn't you read it? But I don't know if it's just there's so much we're forgetting or what. So well, I can back and forth on this one.
Yeah, I guess the other question to that for me would be just, these meetings are also for the public. So do we assume that the public is reading the packet as well ahead of time? So
yeah, no, they're not going to be. So right. Thanks for reminding us of that. That's an important piece. Maybe that's something we should just talk about a little bit as a council again. I'm just saying, we don't usually give very much more than 15 minutes for presentation now. We used to, let me tell you, there were times hour long.
I can understand shortening the presentation for material that we've been hearing about, month after month after month. We kind of do that with the finance report where we don't actually go into it in depth. The city center redevelopment, it'd be good just to get an update for what changed from the last time we talked. But I think it just depends on the subject and how many times it's been brought forth in front of council. That would be my take.
Sorry, my son's dog is going to. So let's remember that as we go through. Then, which ones have we heard a lot from already?
Yeah, let's cut the green building code to 15 minutes. And then let's cut the EOP. Actually, you've never heard the EOP. Well, no. Do we do study session EOP?
I
think
don't.
so.
Remind me what EOP stands for?
Sorry, Emergency Operations Plan.
Oh yeah. Well, that was what was surprising to me last night was we still have confusion on council about what the role of the city manager is. We've been talking about this many, many times.
Yeah, and the city manager is the directs emergency operations for the city. We have a coordinator that helps, get all of those details to make sure he or she can, do that job well. And on occasion, if there's particular expertise on something technical, the city manager would delegate that authority to someone else, including, but not limited to, the emergency coordinator. But yeah, that's a standard system setup.
Yep.
Okay, so Mayor, do you want to have on discussion for Citizen of the Year, how many minutes for discussion? We have 15-minute presentation. If you want that down to 10.
What are they going to present in 15 minutes? 10 minutes seems like max on that. I just think we need to set our time for when we think we can do it. And I have a feeling it's going to have to be the fall.
Okay, so we'll do 10-minute presentation. How many minutes for discussion? Just
15 minutes, maybe.
Okay.
Do you think, Nathaniel?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not even sure why we need 10 minutes for that. It's
yeah,
quite a bit. So, but yeah.
Yeah, so I guess it's just going over the process. Stephanie, cut that down, or Jade, to 10 minutes on presentation. And then on the green building code, we have 15 minutes. I think we need the full 15. How many minutes for discussion?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure how to guess discussion anymore because last night was pretty quiet on some things. But maybe it's because we had, I don't know, but I don't know, 20, 30 minutes.
Sounds good.
You think, Nathaniel? This is such a guessing game.
Yeah, I may have questions. This is actually going to be a subject that I'm not very familiar with, so I can see myself asking quite a bit of questions.
And it's a really large code as well.
Do you want it to be 30 minutes or longer then?
No, I think 20 minutes is good.
Okay.
And then for the EOP, we've got 15-minute discussion. I'm sorry, thank you. How many for discussion?
I don't think I have a whole lot of questions about this. It's just continuing to.
Yeah.
Well, and this one on the presentation depends on how much you want the public to understand it. But certainly, if we want to just hit the highlights on that, you'll have the plan in your thing. We could, cut that down to 10-minute presentation.
So Shawn, is it going to be yourself, or is it going to be Lisa that's going to be presenting?
It's going to be Lisa.
Okay.
Well, let's do a 10-minute presentation and leave 15 minutes for discussion. Do we have to give direction on anything? It's just
only if you have see things that need to be changed. I've gone over every word of that plan. It's quite long and have given lots of edits, and so has Chief Collins and the county staff, and the leadership team has gone over it. So we feel pretty good about where it's at. But
well, then maybe we should. Yeah. So are there things that you'll say about what you tightened up?
Probably not.
Okay.
I mean, some clarification. It was nothing that would have been noteworthy, frankly, that we changed.
Okay.
But yeah, just more who's on first was my biggest question with the county. Frankly, to Rita's point, and in some cases, I agree with her that there's some confusion, so we tightened some of that language up. Good. Okay, can we move on to consent? We've got the RIM system for, and that's records management system. And correct. That, yeah, so this is, I think it's a little over the budget, right, Stephanie?
We originally estimated, around 100, and it came in at 140.
Yeah. But that is the records management system that was approved in the budget, but the person that we're recommending, and actually that's only the first year. So it goes down to, I think, 65,000 annually. So it's not too bad annual, but it is a higher upfront cost than we planned for by 40,000. And then we have the strategic plan, the Q4 revisions. So this is something, and I wanted to ask you all, do you want to see those kind of typographical modifications to the strategic plan? You know, we're going to bring those to you at the same night that we do the dashboards. So I think this is actually both the Q4 dashboards and the revisions. Do you want to see those maybe twice a year, 4 times a year in terms of the revisions? Tim and I discussed that. So this would be modifying a goal that we need council to sign off on before we modify, or maybe even the time frame for achieving.
It would be really nice if there was some kind of quarterly update that maybe was just quick, here are the things that we've accomplished.
Yeah, you're definitely getting that. So this is the quarterly revisions. And I suggested to Tim that maybe we only need to do that twice a year, but we can just do it when we do the quarterly too, and just say, okay, here's what has been accomplished, here's what's behind, here's what's on track, and here's what we're suggesting for revision based on existing conditions. So we'll keep it at that. And then the 2020 purchase amount with John Elway, that can be consent, it's an annual. And then we have approval to pay Envirotech services for ice removal. And that is for citywide. And then 2021 Police Department Budget and Appropriation Amendment number 2. Handbook for boards and commissions and committees. T-norm ordinance changes. Was that unanimous last night?
It was. It was.
Great. And then executive session for legal advice.
Oh, we have an executive session.
I didn't remember that either, but
that's related. That's relating to the kerfuffle involving the junction piece.
Okay.
Is that still the desire, Mayor Pro Tem? Maybe you can think about that and get back to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this isn't until February 1st.
Okay.
Okay, Jade, can you move us down?
So I'm sorry. So what was that one about?
But we got to be careful what he says. We're on recording.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Well, it was discussed in open meetings. It was just the content of the council members' editorial page in the Citizen.
Okay.
Oh.
I assume you meant Citizen, not Junction, right?
I did. I apologize.
Okay.
Yeah, threw me off. So
The Junction is our internal
I'm not
news.
going to ask anymore because we know where.
But I apologize. Yeah, in the Citizen, yes.
Yeah, I actually don't mind if we kick this one down the road at all.
Okay.
I think, I think enough has been said, and we probably at some point need to settle back into figuring out how we want to use that real estate, but.
Yeah, and that can definitely be an open discussion.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of guidelines, not
Right.
legal advice, Alex, sorry.
Right. and maybe at some point we need an executive session to talk about the legalities of ins and outs, but I'm just like, I'm afraid we're going to get sidetracked by it. I don't know, Nathaniel. Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I would be fine with pushing it down.
Okay. I'm sorry, I was not looking. I'm upstairs. I'm not using my second screen, so I was concerned. Did we get all the consent agendas from? Is there only one first reading last night? There was. Okay, there was only one. That was the T-norm. Sorry.
And I'm not sure on the records management, if it's over budget, should that really go on consent? I don't.
No.
Yeah. But the fleet, yeah. Okay. All right, yeah, I think that's all that can go, Mayor.
Okay.
All right, February the 8th. We've got charter amendment for election of the mayor discussion. These are all study session. Study session on resident safety, unified development code assessment updates. That's a report out on the public findings, and then enterprise fleet management recommendation. Any questions on those?
I suppose we can put times in when we get closer, right?
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah. Nope, those look good.
And then February 16th, we've got 3 public hearings. The planned unit, go ahead.
Holy moly.
Yeah,
Is that all we have that night?
just about. We've got 2 other.
Keep it the way it is, then I think we can do it, but.
Yeah, Stephanie, Jade, maybe help remind me that we need to keep this open-ish, this meeting.
Perfect. And I did want to note that they did estimate 20 minutes each for 2 of the other items, and only one of them is estimated to be about 2 hours. Again, that's dependent on the entire presentation and speakers, but I did want to note that time estimate as well.
Thank you. So we've got Winslow.
Go ahead. Well, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I was just going to read them. Winslow Crane PUD, vacation of the south portion of South Huron, vacation of West Cornell are the public hearings.
So I help me understand, maybe Shawn, you know this, I'll hear Centennial having, 10 public hearings in a night. Those must be really, really quick plan exchanges or something. Like we could never, but here we have 3. I don't think we've ever had 3 in one night. Ever since I've been on council. Maybe 2, but not 3. Is this going to take really, really long, and can any of these be moved around?
Well, the staff is only estimating 20 minutes for the second 2. The Winslow Crane is going to be very long, looks like. I suspect that's contested, perhaps, is why they're saying it's long.
Okay.
And I did want to note that they're all for Winslow Crane PUD. They're all.
Oh, good to know. Yeah, so it's all one development. Interesting.
But there are public hearings for each of these portions, right?
Yes, the code requires us to have a public hearing whenever we vacate right-of-way, and that has to be separate from the PUD or planned unit development, which is more the zoning public hearing.
But aren't some of them dependent on one another?
Likely they are all dependent on each other, yes.
So we just have a public hearing on all 3 of them, and then we'll have to then the decisions come. And 2 more meetings after that, right?
Right.
First reading, second reading.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then the second.
If we can keep it really short with the rest, I think we can maybe do it, but.
Yeah. Well, we only have 2 other items. One is the removal of the Transportation Advisory Committee alternate member. I think that's an attendance thing, or maybe someone moving out of town. And then we have enterprise fleet management recommendation. So these are some changes to our fleet to replace 21 vehicles via contract with Enterprise rental car, as opposed to outright purchases.
Yeah.
And then February 22nd, we
Shawn,
have.
actually, before you move on, actually, I have a question. Back to February 8th. So that last item, are we actually voting on something, the recommendation to approve, or is that a presentation?
It is a resolution. Would you like to see that in a study session first?
Well, that's a study session night.
Yeah,
so.
it is a study session.
Oh, I
Yeah,
guess
so
that's
they were
a
to bring
resolution.
it forward to a study session first. So the study session will be on the 8th, and then the resolution will follow on the 16th.
Okay, so we need. Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading the 16th. Yes, they just have that for study session. Sorry, Nathaniel.
Okay. That's the first I've seen during my time that we've had that kind of discussion about leasing. Has it been?
It's a new thought on how to save money and have better vehicles.
Okay.
And so it is definitely going to be a council discussion, which is why they wanted it on a study session before they put it on regular.
Okay.
Excellent.
Great.
Good catch, Daniel.
Yeah, sorry, I think I just read that wrong.
I think you're a blue on the insights.
You'll find out soon.
I will.
All right, so on February 22nd, we have the monthly financial update, and then this is the update on the sustainability plan and program. I know we're almost out of time, but Othaniel, we were wondering if you would be willing to, you requested the solar array item. We were hoping to have that discussion here on February 22nd as part of the bigger plan. You may recall that the mayor said, oh, well, then we should also be discussing pollinators. So we really would like to see if we can talk to you all about this at February 22nd. And I can let Jan Brown know that if you like.
Yeah, that date works for me. I'm glad that we were able to get it in.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I think it's just better, Nathaniel, if we do we already have some goals around this in our strategic plan. And if we do these one-offs all the time, which to me, I mean, we know this is an important item, that we coordinate it within the whole thing.
Yeah, we're totally committed to the actual, those acts, but we need to find out what resources it's going to take to do those projects. So, but I think we can get there for sure. I would just rather have a plan first.
We had a hard time not asking Excel a lot last night about solar. I was like, okay, we're here for something else. Don't start going down that road.
Well, if you ever want to have that conversation, Tom Henley will be at your meeting. We can have that conversation with them too.
Well, it might be good. I mean, people talk about houses being built next to them and blocking light. We have trees that have from the neighbors that are so blocked our house that we can't have solar, which is fine. We need trees. So we had to take ours down and go through Excel to do our solar. So.
Well, my big question when my first week on the job was to ask Tom Henley, how are you moving towards renewables as far as our energy mix? And I think that's what all the cities in their service area need to be pushing them to say, we want, renewables in your energy mix. So,
yeah.
All right, moving on to March 1st, we have bill for an ordinance of vacation of the Cornell, the Huron, and the Winslow Crane PUD. So those will all be first readings. And then a study session on wayfinding and placemaking master plan. So this is the finalization of that plan, acceptance of the plan. And we have made those changes that council asked for there. March 8th, we have DDA interviews, City of Inglewood Sewer Connector District's rate analysis. And then only one item left on April 5th, and that's resolution to appoint DDA members.
Wow, April. Okay, good. Looks good to me.
And then
so far ahead.
And then I've got a handful of council requests. Council wants a list of 13 rentals referenced by Tam Williamson. How many folks on single hauler are case members? When did Parks and Recreation Board revamp the off-leash committee and why? For the initial application for the Colorado Office of Emergency Management FEMA grant, what was the initial date? Anything else?
Well, I have a question about the case thing. I asked specifically too with that, is this something that we even can be asking? Is it like asking someone, do you go to a church or something? Or this, I am worried a little bit. So I want to make sure Alex is in the mix on that one.
Yeah, and I was going to talk to Shawn after this about that very issue.
Okay.
I think we could ask all the members, are you also a member of CASE? But beyond that, I mean, I think that's their choice. And we don't have a roster of CASE members to cross-reference that.
I don't even know what CASE really is. So to be honest, I just...
And they've gone through a tremendous amount of transition in the last year. Some I think they've struggled a bit actually. So I'm not sure what their membership is right now.
It sounds like we're trying to do a little bit of a lot of assumptions going into that question. So,
did I miss any council requests?
So I have a couple here. Peter Stewart asked about the the alley thing, and so I'd asked, did you mention that one with the developers? And
I did not, Mayor, but you may remember I had to jump off for a couple of public invited to be heard.
Yep. Yeah, so it was a developer that has heard from city staff and developers that they're not going to do business in Inglewood anymore because of our patchworked kind of policy on doing alley paving when you do a development, and how much money it's ended up being for some of them. So they want to
Okay.
work, yeah. So a little bit more information on that, I would love to hear. So on the particular Airbnb, sorry, short-term rentals. I have to not say Airbnb all the time. And Ms. Williamson talked about the house that's still a party house, and that people that it's constantly being rented out as a full house. That's the kind of information we can verify, right?
Well, only through people, reporting that. I mean, this is the issue. We've got lots of hearsay being spouted at council, but we don't have people filing police reports.
Right.
It's
And
the darndest thing.
I want to jump in here.
Yes.
I really want to caution any discussion of any specific property or any specific factual situation, either by the full council or even in these meetings.
Okay. Yes, and I agree with that. And so I was glad there was no address given last night like there has been in the past. But I think that maybe council needs to hear that from you, Alex, again, just as a reminder, because we seem to get twisted around this item over and over again with just one report.
And I'm happy to do that. It's funny because during the meeting I was sort of waiting to see if that did happen and kind of at the ready the entire time to jump in, but I'm happy to do that next meeting if this comes up, or if you would like to me to do it without it coming up.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you could talk directly to council members too, but it's easier probably to make it public because then the whole public knows. We have to be really, really careful on this one. It's really not fair. And yeah.
Okay. And then you said you had one more, Mayor?
Was the Marcy Brown one? What was it? Maybe there already was one. And then with trash hauling, and was there something else? Maybe there wasn't one there.
I'll check on the Marcy Brown one.
Park by and drop.
I think I have it for that.
I just wrote council request next to her name, but I don't have a specific note other than single trash hauling on ballot. But I don't think there's one. If you can come up with one, Nathaniel.
No, I just had the case membership stuff. That was it.
Oh, maybe that was it.
Or
Yeah,
Marcy
you're
Brown,
right.
that's all I had.
Oh, okay.
Okay, great. We've got them covered then.
All right.
Okie doke. All right, we're finished. It's 9:01 and this mayor manager meeting is adjourned. I'm sorry, you're 1 minute late to your next meeting. And so
You're good. Thanks so much.
all right.